Hello, hey there, and welcome back to another wonderful episode here at MSA. We are so glad to see you, and I'll tell you what, we are going to make some sense, America, today. You know, there's a lot of questions out there about why, who, what, when, and where when it comes to the Alejandro Mayorkas and this whole thing about immigration. You're going to go, oh my gosh, immigration again. Watch, I'm telling you that you've been wondering what's the driver behind a lot of this stuff, right? How's it happening? Why is it happening? Is it, Biden pushing buttons? Who's doing what? Well, luckily, doing some research, and we've got some clips that we're going to play with a little bit of help from the folks over at Redacted. Clayton and Natalie do a wonderful job over there. If you haven't seen Redacted, look them up. They are awesome. Everything they do is factual. And Clayton was interviewing a gentleman by the name of Michael Young. And Michael is in Panama, and he's obviously stays out in the jungle and all over the parts of the world researching stuff. And I'm telling you, if this thing don't go viral, I don't know what else to do, because this is fundamentally awesome with answers on some fronts of why things are happening the way they are happening. Now, this clip that we're going to roll, Clayton was talking with Michael Young, and Michael is currently in Panama, already stated that, and now he is going to let you know a few things about Alejandro Mayorkas. And remember when if you saw the last clip that we did, I hope you did, I said I was going to roll just a couple seconds of Alejandro, and he said that this whole impeachment thing that they're coming after him for doesn't have any basis. Well, bingo, it sure does. 150%. Pay attention to what Michael's talking about, because it takes a minute to soak in, but it's real. It's super real. And again, you will never see this on MSNBC, CBC, any of them. You won't see it. I'm just telling you. I can't even speak right now. It's late at night, and I can't sleep, because going through all this kind of stuff gets me excited, and I want to bring it to you as fast as I possibly can. So we're going to roll this clip. Pay close attention to what's going on here, because it's going to answer some stuff where you're going to be like, what? And it's real. Be right back. Talk to you in just a second.
I want to get your take on something you uncovered in Panama, which is a bombshell story. The HIAS facility that you uncovered there is a China camp. Can you explain what this is, and Secretary Mayorkas being a part of this illegal invasion of the United States?
Oh, yes. I mean, I've been talking about HIAS for 3 years now. When I first saw him in Darien, that's
right.
The Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, right? And
right.
So, but it never congealed with people exactly what they are. Colonel Doug McGregor sent me an email a few days ago, and he said, Mayorkas was a board member of HIAS, the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. Actually, Mayorkas is from Cuba. He was born in Cuba, and both of his parents are Jewish, which is interesting. That's probably why he was on the board of HIAS, right? And then he moved. You can see there's a congratulatory letter from HIAS on their website for Mayorkas moving on to bigger and better things from HIAS to become Secretary of Homeland Security. Now, I just took Brett Weinstein and Chris Martinson to the camp where you see the photo of the HIAS sign. They have the HIAS actually one of their headquarters is like 5 minutes walk from me right now in the City of Knowledge in Panama. But down in Darien, they have another office. Actually, it's a building that I almost rented, but HIAS got it first. And it's right beside China Camp, what I call China Camp. Here they call it San Vicente Camp. But China Camp is the camp that Mayorkas went to on April 18th, 2022. I was physically present when he did it. I have video when he did it. He came there on April 18th, 2022. Right next to the HIAS building, which is China Camp, and he increased the size of that camp. This is the main camp. It's really not a camp much anymore. It's more of a bus station. When you come out of the jungle, you can go there, get a shower, and then get on the buses and head up to Costa Rica and Nicaragua and end up in the United States in a week or so. Now, the HIAS, the China Camp, also here called San Vicente Camp down in Darien Province. Again, I've spent months down there, right beside this camp. That camp the trailers that they put in after Mayorkas came with fistfuls of cash in 2022, the trailers are from China. So in other words, these trailers, I've been inside the trailers, bunch of bunk beds, very clean, very nice, showers. Those facilities actually were made in China, bought with American money. HIAS is mostly funded by American money. It's public. The same with IOM. IOM and HIAS, their offices are right out, 5 minutes walk from here.
So this choke point, this spot where, and who's then staying in these nice environments? Is it the Chinese then? And before they're then shuttled off to the United States, backed by United States dollars and the funding of the Department of Homeland Security? I mean, it's outrageous.
Okay, did that help answer questions? Let's recap real quick. So Alejandro Mayorkas, Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, was a board member of HIAS, the Hebrew International Aid Society. HIAS's sole mission is to help people seeking asylum to get to a better place. And a lot of it has to do with America. Because in 1881, when they were founded, they were getting people to America. So that's still part of their mission to this day. If you go on their website and you read that letter of praise when Alejandro Mayorkas was nominated by Biden to be appointed as Secretary of Homeland Security, and you read what the CEO and president of HIAS had to say about Mayorkas, they call him Ali Mayorkas, that, great work, all this stuff. And near the end of it, it basically states the fact that he knows that Alejandro Mayorkas will continue to help people seeking asylum and getting into America by building bridges, not walls. On the website, take a look. Now, if you wonder when they said IOM and HIAS have buildings right next to this China camp, IOM stands for International Organization for Migration. Again, U.S. funded. Did you know it was U.S. funded? Did you even know HIAS was U.S. funded? Or did you even know any of these existed? Okay? Because these are in Panama. They're all over the world, actually. But the ones we're talking about are in Panama. Now, if you look it up if you do some research and you look it up, when you look up April 18th, 2022, where was Alejandro Mayorkas? He was in San Vicente. San Vicente is now the nickname China Camp because that's where all the Chinese immigrants are coming up through the jungle on their donkey rides and doing whatever, stopping in there, getting cleaned up, and then getting on the buses and taking their journey on up towards the American border right at Mexico. Okay? And if you haven't heard, in the background, Mexico's actually been complaining that all these people are coming through their country to get to the United States. So it's not like there are parts of Mexico where people are not open-armed with just letting people walk on through. Now, look, we have another clip, and I really want you to hear on this other clip some of the happenings of people when they're getting up there and how they're getting through and what they call this journey that the Chinese are taking. So we're going to do this clip real quick. We'll be right back with a little bit more information, and then we're going to bid you farewell. So just hang in there. We'll be right back.
So if funneling American dollars to expand the size of this China camp, using U.S. taxpayer dollars to expand, make it a cushy environment for illegal Chinese and other immigrants to stay and then be ferreted off using luxury buses to the United States. Do I have that correct?
That is correct. That is accurate and detailed. Now, again, Dr. Chris Martenson and Brett Weinstein and Masako Ganaha and Vandersteel, Chuck Holton, I just had them, not that Chuck needs anybody to take him deep into the jungle. That's where he spends a lot of his time. But we were out at Canam and Brio, which is where the Chinese have more money, right? So they take an easier route through Darien Gap. There's not like there's one route through Darien. There's many routes. And the more money you have, the easier it gets. And if you take the easiest routes, it's more like an adventure vacation with the Kuna Indians, carrying your stuff on horses. You come through clean and you sleep a night in the jungle and that sort of thing. And they come out in this village called Canan Membrillo, which is about 3 hours or 4 hours upriver by Piragua. It took us about 4 hours that day because unfortunately we had 15 horsepower engines instead of 30, which I requested and from the Indians. But we're pushing the boats. We get upriver and you'll see in Canan Membrillo, Canan is the name of the village. Membrillo is the name of the river, Rio Membrillo. So they call it Canal Membrillo. It's an Imbra village. They are expanding that facility for more Chinese and others to come through what we call the ATM route. We call it the ATM route because that's the money route. That's the route that people come through. They never get raped. They don't get murdered. They don't get robbed because they pay up front. They pay thousands of dollars. I think I may have sent you a Chinese video one time. And you see the Chinese, it's in Mandarin, but they're coming through Colombia, and they come through on the boats. They get on the horses. It's a total vacation video. I'll send it to you if you haven't seen it yet. But they come through Canal Membrillo, part of that route. It's a total vacation. They're like, yeah, here we are in Panama.
Here we are. We spent the money, and we're getting, with the help of the Americans, we're invading your country right under the watchful eye of the Biden administration and Secretary Mayorkas.
Okay, the ATM route. You hear that? Because they pay up front. Unlike a lot of the folks that you've been hearing about, that when they come through the border and they have the different colored wristbands because of the cartels, they're going to owe money and they have to come in. They get the things that are happening. The Chinese are coming over and they're paying up front. And that's why a lot of times when you see them at the border, if you actually get to see any of the footage of them at the border, they're clean. They don't look like they've been trekking through anything bad. They're coming all the way from China. And why? You just heard it, coming up through the ATM route. And again, our American tax dollars, expanding facilities. And I have a feeling because of all of this, there's some stuff that's going to come out and get viral, and I know it's going to hit the Oversight Committee. It's amazing. And when you really look at it, think about when the dictator from China was here and Biden met with him. Okay? Biden didn't do any of the talking. The dictator did. And you know who I'm talking about. When you look at what recently happened at the Oversight Committee and you saw the senators drilling down on, Mark Zuckerberg and a lot of the other people from the big tech companies because of the things that are happening online with the kids being able to get access to bad things and the AI suggesting suicides and stuff of that nature, and they're all getting drilled down. And it's funny how the Biden administration has 40 plus lawsuits out there against these companies, but not one against TikTok. And TikTok's one of the biggest offenders of some bad stuff. And not one against TikTok. And why is that? It's Chinese owned. Why is it that anything that has to do with China, Biden backs down? Biden doesn't get involved. Why does Biden jump up when Texas is trying to shut down the border and run straight to the Supreme Court and scream that, they're in the way of the federal agents, you got to let them through? And why? Take a look. If you need to, rewatch this whole segment. Watch what we were showing you. You wonder why some of that footage on there, isn't really super clear. You just get a couple glimpses, and you saw the ones where the guys are turning their back to the camera and stuff, and the one at night where the guys stopped and they're looking at the camera. You're in parts of the jungle. You can't just walk through there with a camera. Those people will take you out. They don't play down there. There's a whole different set of rules and laws down there that none of our laws apply down there. But you have to give it to people like Michael Young. You have to give it to the crew at Redacted for interviewing him. And you notice Michael Young starts calling out everybody by name. When people do that, that's real. That's truth. It's factual. It's basis. You can trail it through. When he names off the general that sent him the email, letting him know about Alejandro Mayorkas being on the board of HIAS and all these things, that you can't make this up. You can't make it up. And you can't cover it up. So if this thing doesn't go viral, I don't know what else to do. I'm just telling you. Because this is insane. This helps get to the heart of the matter as to why things are going the way they're going. Because it doesn't make sense you're going to open up our border. I mean, I'm 53 years old. Never in my lifetime have I ever heard of the border being open. You can't, as a matter of fact, if you live in the United States, you can't just run across into Canada. No, they won't let you. You can't just run down the way and just run into Mexico. They don't let you just run through. So why can't they just run through here? And again, why are we calling it a border when it's not stopping anything? It's like, you know what it's like down there right now? You ever seen the marathons when the people are running along and they come up to the people with the water and they get the drink and they just keep going? That's pretty much what's going on at the border. They just come running on in. They just check in, get their court date, and they just keep on going right to the nearest bus and get shipped off to any city they want. And why? Think about it. Your Secretary of Homeland Security is using your tax dollars to make sure that his asylum dreams that he's been living for decades, and he used to be part of the Obama administration before he worked for Biden. He's making sure all those asylum dreams come true, just like they did for him when he was a little kid. If you don't like what I'm saying, put it in the comments. If you like what I'm saying, put it in the comments. Either way, do us a favor. Please share this one. This has got to get out. People need to know this. This is the kind of information that's not going to get out far without help from you. So do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe. And as usual, we love every single one of you. And we hope wherever you're at, night, day, whatever it is, you're having the best time you ever could have. And we look forward to seeing you again. And again, we're going to come back with a lot more just like this. So hang in there, and we'll see you again soon. Take care.